Good morning, everybody. Welcome back. We've got a second article of the day. This one is entitled, We're Gonna Need More Water. Yeah, it's about that bad. By the end of the century, plants could consume substantially more water, leaving less for people across North America, Europe, and Central Asia. Even if it rains and snows more, a new study reports that today the plants are already consuming way more water. Way more. Wow. Alright, let's dive on in. Plants are the primary regulators for the water cycle, responsible for 60% of the flow of water from land to the atmosphere. Research now shows that climate change has altered that vital cycle in several different ways. Plants are like the atmosphere's straw, dominating how water flows from the land to the atmosphere, says climate geographer Justin Markin of Dartmouth. Without massive reductions in carbon dioxide emissions in the coming decades, the global average temperature will rise between 4 and 6 degrees Celsius, not Fahrenheit. With a near doubling of the atmospheric CO2 by century's end, the hotter the CO2 enriched future conditions are akin to turning up the heat and pumping CO2 into a greenhouse. The likely result, assuming no other limiting factors such as lack of nutrients, is an explosion of plant life, but will leave considerably less water for people to use. With that being said, that kind of sounds spooky, so let's continue forward. Climate change affects the growth of plants in 3 ways. First, as CO2 levels increase, plants need less water to do photosynthesis. This well-documented effect was long thought to mean that there would be more fresh water available in soils and streams, but a second effect counters that. A warming world means longer and warmer growing seasons, which gives plants more time to grow and consume water, drying the land. Researchers have now shown a third effect. As CO2 levels rise, it amps up photosynthesis. Plants in this hotter CO2-rich environment grow bigger and with more leaves, which means when it rains there, it'll be far more wet leaves, creating more surface area for more evaporation to occur. Computer modeling shows that such enhanced leaf evaporation has a large effect on runoff and soil moisture. While plants everywhere will consume more water in a hotter CO2-rich world, northern and tropical regions are projected to have enough precipitation to offset the additional plant growth. The study's take-home message: the combined effects of increased CO2 and warmer temperatures will increase water consumption by vegetation, and this will lead to water declines in the rivers and streams in the mid-altitudes, including North America, Europe, and Central Asia. And the bad news on the water is it's been long debated whether or not the effects of high CO2 levels on plants means more water availability on land. Being a little bit more accurate, modeling growth of biomass overall, including leaf canopy, they've noticed that a robust opposite and bad news conclusion, including levels of CO2, the related climate change will worsen, not improve, and water availability will go down. So basically put, the hotter it gets, and the more it rains, the less they're going to need, but the more they're going to take. We have the earth is going to reclaim us, basically, and there's nothing we're going to be able to do. Previous climate research has found an 80% likelihood of a 35-year or longer mega drought, striking the southwest and central Great Plains by 2100, with business as usual CO2 emissions. Moderate reductions in emissions will only reduce this risk to 60%, and this megadrop model does not include the new findings about how changes in vegetation could worsen conditions. The atmosphere is already more CO2 rich and the climate is warmer. There is evidence from satellites showing significant increase in vegetation in the past 40 years. While growing seasons are getting longer, it is difficult to say that the recent greening of the earth is entirely due to climate change because there have been so many human alterations to the landscape over the past 100 years. Alright everybody, that's about all the time I've got here for today. Please feel free to read the entire article on LinkedIn. We've got it published and it's set up for everybody. Always remember that we have a Buzzsprout and an Anchor. Please check us out on Twitter and Instagram and Snapchat and on TikTok. We also have a Reddit and a Facebook if you want to partake in any of those, and we would greatly appreciate it if you did. As always, remember, we are here, and thank you again for your time.